Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to episode number 23 of the Top Rope Renegades This Weekend Wrestling Podcast. I'm Kurt, alongside RK. We are a day late and $1 short, but there is nothing wrong with that. Sometimes in life, you just need some sleep. But besides that, RK, welcome back. We're doing it again. How are you doing?
This is another public service announcement from Top Rope Renegades. When in the front row of a wrestling show and you see 715 pounds barreling down on the barricades, move the fuck out of the way.
Yeah, that's a conversation to be had for next week, but just we're getting ahead of the curve here. I'm getting ahead with that. Wise words from Top Rope Renegades, to be fair. Yeah, move. Just move. There's a lot of meat coming at you. Pause. No diddy. But besides the point, okay, we're back. It's a Monday. We're a little late, but we both got some sleep, much needed sleep. I definitely did. You as well. It happens, but we're still doing the thing.
I feel like Kurt's burying the lead here and did probably not mention that he went to the Colts game yesterday, and I'm assuming had a few adult beverages. And
no, I had
needed a headache. Needed a headache nap.
I had 2 beers. I went to my grandmother's house after the game. Got home about 7 o'clock, and I was worn out. And I fell asleep. And I fell asleep for a long time. And I woke up about 11:30 to RK saying, "Oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one that overslept." And I said, "Great, we're just gonna have to do this another time." And here we are. This is the other time. We should have just done it yesterday at 11:30 instead of doing it when we're doing it now. But no harm, no foul. We have
the thing is we're doing it. We're not going to take off any more weeks.
Yeah.
We're not doing that anymore. We are here every week to deliver you the news, the rumors, the entertainment, everything that happens in, well, the 2 wrestling worlds. We'll get back to the whole world eventually.
Yeah, once we get the off season for me, it'll be easier to explore other avenues of pro wrestling. I don't know what RK's got on the docket here, but it's time to get into the news, the rumors, and the innuendo of the week. This looks like a pretty juicy start. If you don't know, you're about to find out. Tony Khan has added 1 year to Rey Fenix's contract due to injury time. This is Tony Khan, probably, most likely. He said it. I just felt like, you owe me 1 more year of sitting in the backstage area doing nothing. It has absolutely nothing to do with you going to WWE at all to be with your brother. Yeah, he probably said that. He's going to hang out in catering. Rey Fenix is going to go hang out in catering. If you didn't know, it was rumored Lucha Bros were headed to WWE. And then the rumor mill started with, due to injury time, they could add another year to Rey Fenix's contract. And AEW, in fact, did do that. So we will not be getting the Lucha Bros anytime soon on WWE television unless they can figure out a way to do that. I think there were some good suggestions thrown out on Twitter, if I remember correctly.
Joey Janela, he just said, hey, maybe Rey should get into a tussle in the gorilla position with Jungle Boy.
Yeah. Say something about some glass, throw him around a little bit, and you're on your way. You're out the door. Shane McMahon and the Young Bucks were on the same flight from New York to Utah. Shane McMahon saying it was a complete coincidence, just like being at the same airport as Mercedes a few weeks back. It's a complete coincidence that also saw him sit down and have a conversation with Tony Khan when they had their chat a while back. It's all merely coincidence, RK. I don't think there's anything to it. What do you think?
No, he totally ends up being in a country of 300 plus million people. He totally ends up being in the same places multiple times in the last month and a half as AEW members.
Personnel. Yeah, I think it's a coincidence. It just happens. You never know who you're going to run into when you're at an airport. You just never know. We could be getting a returning and a reuniting of sorts of the War Raiders tag team known as the Viking Raiders. Most recently, there have been hints of the return. Some guy backstage wearing a suit. The guy who hated the War Raiders name hasn't been around lately. I don't know who that guy is, but he did hate the name, if I remember correctly. So shout out to that guy not being around, and maybe we do get the War Raiders back. Would you be okay with that?
Well, I mean, Yeah, absolutely. The Viking Raiders are cool and all, but I mean, they came into NXT as the War Raiders, and
Yes.
they were Triple H's guys. And then when he went up to the main roster, a certain guy was like, "No, we got to completely change characters every time that we've already established them in NXT.
Yep.
Completely change them to something else, just because that's what he did." Uh, they were, I believe, the War Raiders in New Japan as well.
Yeah. Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
The whole NXT Black and Gold era they were a part of, with the whole crowd chanting "War." Hard to do that when your name is the Viking Raiders. What do you chant then? Well, Vikings. What do Vikings say when they attack? I don't
We're
know.
gonna rape and pillage your villages.
Yeah. Have you heard the? Never mind. I'm not going to go down that route. Anyway, that's the headlines from this week's news, rumors, and innuendo. RK's probably got a stash of news to get to. Slowly, but time to turn it over to him and see what we get.
Your audio just went all fucked up there. But anyways, nonetheless,
It's fine.
news, rumors, innuendo, episode 23, week of September 23rd to 29th. According to PW Insider, Paul Heyman was intricately involved in the Roman Reigns Cody Rhodes face-off at Georgia Tech, as he personally directed the talent for the scene. Yeah, obviously, Paul Heyman's going to have his hands all over anything Roman does, and you honestly couldn't get a better guy to be doing that shit. So it worked out. Awesome segment. WrestleTix revealed tickets are selling well for the return of Saturday night's main event on December 14th in New York, as it was nearly sold out after the first weekend, with just over 800 tickets remaining as of this report. Yeah, of course that's going to be a sellout. It's a guarantee. Saturday Night Main Event was a huge thing back in the 90s. A lot of fun, and now we're getting a return of it. It's going to be awesome. All that stuff. Kurt is not giving me any feedback, so that's fun. Okay,
I'm
according to the Wrestling
checking.
Observer newsletter, Sheamus's new contract with WWE is expected to be a 5-year deal. Andrew Zarian said on the Matt Man podcast that AEW pay-per-view views will stream on Max in 2025, but it could happen even sooner than that. Matt Hardy recently said on Extreme Life of Matt Hardy podcast that he believes Jeff Hardy will be bringing back the Willow character in TNA sooner than later. It's not exactly known when, but per Fightful Select, Mick Foley recently renewed his Legends deal with WWE. Fightful also says the Outrunners are signed to AEW deals, even though they haven't got an
Wait,
all elite graphic yet.
why have you run past so many
Victoria
things?
Jericho. Oh, you weren't giving me feedback.
Okay,
so
just because I didn't give you feedback on 2 things doesn't mean you need to run through everything else. I was looking up stories. Jesus Christ.
I mean, I can just rip through these and we're
Go ahead then. Rip through them.
Kurt just got mad at his mic because he couldn't mute it. Oh, it just got better. Anyways, would you like to add anything?
My mic wouldn't
I love
mute again.
pissing
It
off Kurt.
wouldn't mute again. I was gonna add a bunch of things, but just kept rambling off like a child, just because I didn't input on 2 things. 2 things. 2 things. 2 things. I was looking up stories just to help out with your news. Just 2 things.
Sure.
So I have nothing to add.
Nothing. Okay, cool.
No, I mean I did, but then you skipped over what I was going to start talking about, and then you just kept rolling. I thought it was one big story, to be honest with you. I was like, okay. And the next thing you know, you go from Matt Hardy to Willow to Mick Foley, and then I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. So, great job with your news, RK. My bad. I didn't input on 2 things. Trying to let you do your thing and talk about the news, but apparently now I'm the bad guy. This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna spin it like it's my fault when it's clearly your fault because you got upset about 2 things. 2 things. Didn't even give me 3. 2. This is a wrestling thing. You should have 1, 2, 3. Then I'm out. No. 2. No false finishes on this podcast. 2 things around here.
Only 2
we're
counts.
Done. We're
only
out
2
of here.
counts.
That's
it's like
fine.
the old raising hands 3 times, dropping, gone.
Sorry, didn't kick out at 1. That's on me.
You got to make my stories look weak.
You made them look weak by rushing through them.
No,
you know what would have worked? You know what would have worked if you were good at this? If you were really good at this, you would have read the story and been, hey, Kurt, what's your opinion on that? Or, hey, what do you think of that? You know, I opened the show.
Normally the
I opened-
pauses after I finish talking is for you to jump in, not just dead air.
I opened the
Okay,
show
so
and I'm
I
like,
figured
"How
I
you
didn't want
doing,
any more
RK?
dead air
How
on.
you doing?
I didn't
You
want
doing
any more
good?
dead air on the
No."
podcast, so that sounds horrible. I figured I might as well keep on talking all the time. Otherwise, every time I finish talking, we're just have dead air for 5
See what he's
seconds,
doing?
and
See
then
what
I
he's doing
start
here?
talking again.
See how he's doing this,
Yeah,
guys? It's my
exactly.
fault. It's my fault. It's not, never his fault. It's my fault. I'm the one that overslept. I'm the one that drank too much. I'm the one that didn't respond to
No.
2 of his news stories. I'm the one that doesn't do it right. I'm the one. You know what? You're right. It is all my fault. And I'll take the blame for it until, because I'm the bigger person here. I don't know if I'm cutting a promo, but I'm really trying here. All right. Just cut me some slack and let it go. I hope Willow comes back.
That's it. That's all you got. I rattled off like 5 stories there.
Yeah, I got really upset and just started railing, and I forgot what the other ones were.
Okay, we're going back.
I thought the first one was
Sheamus's
this one.
new
This is where I was going to
contract
come in. Yes, Sheamus's new
is a
contract.
5-year deal.
He's here for the rest of his career. That's what that means. Fair?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say so. He's in his mid-40s, I want to say. So, see, look, Kurt's even drinking now.
It's a root beer, but of course we'll be critical of Kurt some more.
All right, cool. Anyways, we're done with this shit. Let's go. Andrew Zarian. This is the second time his name popped up in the last couple of weeks. I still don't know who the fuck he is. But anyways,
Fightful?
said on is he? But he was on the Matt Men podcast.
Oh,
I've never
I don't
heard
know
that
then.
podcast either. I think we're more popular than the Matt Men podcast, honestly.
Of course we are.
Until somebody tells us that we're not. Anyways, that AEW pay-per-views will stream on Max, HBO Max in 2025, but it could happen even sooner than that.
Took
Yet
long
we
enough.
still have not heard of any official contracts with HBO.
Sean Ross Sapp tweeted he anticipates that the Warner Brothers Discovery and the AEW deal will be announced soon.
Wasn't that said back in like June?
Yeah, but you're going to be made a fool when it finally announces, when people question him. Sure. Sean Ross Sapp is kind of going on my list.
Why
don't I can't see Dave Meltzer's tweets anymore, so I have
to
get somebody
Shawn
else.
Michaels will pass away soon, but we don't know when. But it'll be
right.
soon.
It's true. Yeah, I don't know who to get mad at.
That's about as true as their fucking statements on this fucking contract.
It's true. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'm 99.9% positive it's gonna happen.
But it's already happened.
You know, we opened our pro wrestling crate box, and they shouldn't have gave me this stress ball because now I just want to throw it around and like squeeze it. Anyway.
It's not known exactly when, but per Fightful, Mick Foley recently renewed his Legends deal with WWE.
Yeah.
That's just fun. That's awesome. He deserves to always have that deal in place.
I'm not gonna run back. Did we not talk about that last week? I don't remember.
You may have brought it up last second. I don't know, but
I don't remember.
Maybe
we may have been watching the McMahon documentary and it came up. I don't know.
Possibly, yes, which we'll get to eventually finishing.
Yes.
Fightful also says the Outrunners are signed to AEW deals, but they have not gotten an official All Elite graphic. I don't even know why that's news. That's who gives a fuck.
They didn't get the All Elite graphic, but they're signed. That All Elite graphic means the world to people. You understand?
Sure. Victoria Derek. What?
You know who have you been on TikTok and seen the Costco guys?
No.
Please tell me you've seen them. The Big AJ and Little Justice, where they go to Costco and they go the double chunk chocolate cookie. That shit. No. Yeah, they're All Elite now. Big AJ's got a deal with AEW. He's gonna have a match. Get ready. And don't they have like
85% of their talent not doing anything right now?
As a friend to you, do not go looking for this Big Justice and Big AJ Costco guy stuff. It will somehow find its way on every social platform you have, and it will irritate the shit out of you. I hate the Costco guys. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm glad I'm listening to this in my headphones because my phone cannot hear it.
It's smart. My phone's right here, but it's already toxic. It's everywhere.
Okay, cool. Victoria Derico has been hired by WWE as an NXT referee. According to PW Insider, Derico took part in the company's WrestleMania week tryouts in Philadelphia earlier this year.
Victoria Jericho. Interesting. Maybe she'll make her debut on the CW network. Can I tell you how excited I am, by the way? I know we're talking about the news. I am so excited for the CW debut with NXT. Like, I am fucking pumped.
Well, yeah, it's going to be TV 14.
But yeah, besides that, I'm just like, I'm really excited for this. I think it's going to be a banger of a show. But I'm sorry, I'm getting off track.
Shawn Michaels is not going to disappoint.
It's the debut. It's going to go hard. Can't wait for that. Sorry.
They also confirmed that developmental talents have received their WWE trademark names. Destiny Brown is now Kaylee Armstrong, and Skylar Clinton is Nico Vance. So it looks like we're going to be getting a couple more women's added to the roster here pretty soon.
Already the deepest women's roster in pro wrestling. I mean, it's
not if you ask Mercedes.
Oh yeah, sorry. Well, she any roster, she's on the top. You know.
Yeah.
Get standard.
Hot Ones host Sean Evans. If you don't know what Hot Ones is, it's where this dude gets celebrities on and they eat different levels of spicy.
Do you want to do that?
Ones.
Do you want to do that? Should we do that as a video? We'll have to go out and buy like individually like the Hot Ones kits, but then we can just like bake some wings and then would they dab it on there? Right?
They dab a little bit on there and then they eat it.
They eat the wing, right? Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, they're fun videos. So there's a lot of talent. I can't remember who it was, but she was an absolute beast. She just ripped through all 10 hot sauces like it didn't even affect her. I was impressed. I was like, holy shit. I think it was Scarlett, maybe. Anyways, nonetheless. Sean Evans told Bloomberg that they have been trying to get Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on the show for years. The only response they've ever gotten was a request to use grilled salmon strips instead of the show's signature wings.
You say yes, and you accommodate Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah, but it takes away from their video is the wings. That's their thing.
Yeah, but he's still got to get the sauce.
Our gimmick is fucking acting like we hate each other sometimes.
Yeah, it's part of the gimmick. But deep down, like RK does actually hate me. He's just doing this. Why are you doing it? I don't know why he's doing this. I don't know.
You know me very well. And this is the only place that I actually talk to anybody. So you know that statement that just came out of your mouth.
It's so wrong.
Close to being true.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I can't even. You're right. Sit at a PlayStation party with this guy. You'll learn.
Jesus Christ.
Does RK hate me? No, you just don't understand him, okay?
Per the Wrestling Observer, WWE is still in negotiations with USA Network to add a third hour to Friday Night SmackDown. It may be 2, it may be 3, it may be 10, it may be 9. Who the fuck cares at this point? It's going to be whatever it's going to be. Braun Breaker could... we'll get into this next week. I don't like this. I read this and then I saw it. Braun Breaker could be turning babyface soon after losing the Intercontinental title, says Dave Meltzer on the Wrestling Observer Radio.
Spoiler alert. It happens. And it makes so much sense.
Well, they haven't fully made him babyface.
Let him still be a badass. Let him still be the badass. He's not going to turn into a soft little bitch. You saw what happened and your mouth salivated a little bit. You're like, yeah, I want that. I want to see that. I want to see that match.
Not really, because I want Gunther to hold the title for a long fucking time.
Get over these long title reigns. I'm over it.
Oh, I hate long title reigns, but I love Gunther, so I want to see him hold it for a long time. You even said tonight, fucking Gunther is amazing.
Oh, he's great. He's a fantastic heel. One of the best, and you said classic heel. He is. But him versus Braun Breaker, yes, please, and put Braun over. I don't care. Don't care. And then
I'm conflicted.
And then Braun's gonna drop it to CM Punk, and then CM Punk's gonna drop it to Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. It makes sense.
They're gonna have 4 world title changes in the next 6 months.
Yeah, why not? Why do we have to have these 2-year-long reigns?
You don't, but you don't also don't.
Like I'm kind of already almost Cody holding it. Let's switch it up a little bit.
That I'm with though.
But Cody's better chasing anyway. But it's just When we get to
there's so much
SmackDown,
you could develop a lot more with Cody if he had a little bit more adversity at this moment.
when we get to SmackDown, there's a theory that's going on in my head that I'm like, okay, maybe this is what's going on. It's speculative.
WRKD Wrestling is once again hinting that Alexa Bliss could be returning to WWE television soon. I don't know where they're getting their information because PW Insider then goes on to say that Bliss isn't scheduled for a WWE comeback anytime soon. One source told the site that they don't expect her back until after the holiday season. So again, these dirt sheets are just saying she's coming back, she's not coming back, she may be coming back, she might come back.
At the end of the day, dirt sheets are just guessing, and they're hoping that they're right.
I mean, their
we could write our own dirt sheet.
Their statements are about as true as me saying Tony Khan said, I just felt like, you owe me one more year of sitting in the backstage area doing nothing. I feel like it's about as real as me saying that.
That's what I'm saying. We could write our own dirt sheet, and we'd probably be closer to being accurate than half of these fucking dirt sheets.
But then that's not fun. You got to be completely off base.
Like, if you want to be real, Alexa Bliss is probably coming back at Royal Rumble. There you go. There's your answer.
Or they'll face Morpher with Nikki Cross, and we'll get something there.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, where was I? PW Insider says the stipulation with Dominic Mysterio hanging above the ring in a shark cage for the Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley match at Bad Blood has been in the works for months and was not a late addition.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Dave Meltzer noted on WOR that while it's not certain Daniel Garcia is leaving AEW, those within the company aren't as confident about his staying as they once were. I don't care. I really don't.
Keep him.
Yeah, I don't. I think we went into a whole spiel on that last episode about whether we actually want to see. Yeah. Anyways, no.
I'm in the camp of you send him to NXT and you let WWE get their hands on him, and you see what happens. WWE is better at building the stars than AEW is.
They are, but I just don't. I don't know where Daniel Garcia fits in if he's not doing his stupid gimmick.
Well, you gotta figure that out. And that's where you get the professionals,
like Ethan Page coming in, natural, cocky, arrogant.
Heel, yeah.
Sean Spears coming in, which actually there was a really good interview with Sean Spears with Chris Van Vliet this past week. Listen to it if you can. I don't listen to a lot of Chris Van Vliet's interviews, except I wanted to listen to that one, and it was cool how he was talking about Ty Dillinger, Sean Spears. The reason he came back is Sean Spears and not Ty Dillinger, all that stuff. Really good, in-depth conversation they had about that.
CVV.
While they've heard the final decision has not been made, PW Insider says that some in WWE want Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns versus the Bloodline to close Bad Blood rather than CM Punk and Drew McIntyre's Hell in a Cell match. Goes on to say they confirmed an earlier Wrestling Observer newsletter report that Punk and McIntyre's match was originally planned for the main event as the show falls on the anniversary of the last Hell in the Cell at Bad Blood in 1997. However, some are now arguing that Cody and Roman should remain since it will be their first time tagging together and because the show is taking place in Atlanta, a city they both have ties to. Quoting that Observer newsletter report that Insider confirmed about, they said the main event of WWE Bad Blood is currently set to be the tag team match of Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns versus the Bloodline. There is a chance that this could change. However, they are still in discussions between. So basically, it was definitely going to be Punk and Drew, but then this whole Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns thing came together, and they're like, well, fuck. I personally think it should be the Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be. It's Roman Reigns' first match back since WrestleMania.
Yeah, but
it's Roman Reigns.
This is literally
Cody Rhodes.
This is literally the 25-year. 25 year?
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm on your team. I think
longer than that, like 20. Oh, so it's been the very first Hell in a Cell match happened pretty much on Bad Blood 97. Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, tore down the fucking house. I think you're bringing back this pay-per-view. It should focus. That should be your main event.
No, I agree with you. I just don't think it will be. It's Roman. It's Cody. For some reason, I don't get it. I think the heat in the feud is way bigger with Punk and Drew than the. I get it. The Bloodline story's been 2 years in the making plus, but what we have with Punk and Drew is incredible. And I think they need to understand that. And it's a Hell in a Cell match. That's a big deal. Like, that should close your show.
They're going to tear down the house.
Right? That should close the show. We'll see. We'll see.
After WrestleNomics and Post Wrestling broke the news that crisis management PR firm Sitrick and Company was no longer representing Vince McMahon, Wrestling Observer followed up that McMahon has hired another with the same specialty, Edendale Strategies. Apparently, from my understanding, is Sitrick and Company dropped Vince McMahon shortly after all the allegations surfaced, and then recently Edendale Strategies came into place once this whole documentary thing started coming out. And they're like, oh, we're going to have a lot of damage control. Lawyer shit, Vince McMahon, he's done. He's cooked.
Yeah.
TNA's parent company filed a trademark claim on Santino Marella in 2022 after WWE let theirs lapse, but recently WWE claimed or has requested an extension in order to submit their opposition to that claim.
Okay.
Isn't Santino Marella his name?
I don't think so. I don't think it's his legit legal name.
Anthony Corelli. Okay, it's not. So apparently there's some kind of loophole where WWE can actually backfile something to get a 90-day extension on upping claims. I don't know why they'd be. Somebody brought up a good point because you think they're in relationship with TNA right now. Why would they be doing this to TNA upper executive? I guess you could say. Don't do that.
Just learned how to do that. Just learned how to do it. That's cool. Didn't know I could do that. Sorry. ADHD kicked in. My bad.
Yeah, no, that messed with my. Anyways, where was I? Somebody brought up a good point. They think like WWE is a huge company, TKO, right? And they think that maybe something just came across somebody's desk and they're like, oh shit, we have a chance to up this trademark and get it back and blah, blah, blah. And they just did it without actually talking to anybody because it does seem weird that anybody in the know of what's going on is like, why would you want to potentially create a little rift between you and TNA over something stupid like that? So it's interesting. Just, news. Source told Cultaholic that Shane McMahon and the Young Bucks, we already talked about this. We already talked about that. According to Fightful Select, Saraya has re-signed with AEW on a 1-year contract that runs through September 2025.
Mm-hmm.
I still think she ends back up in WWE at some point to finish up. I don't know. It just seems like it makes sense to me, but they don't really use Saraya in any real great way in AEW.
No, she just shows up and takes some bumps from a returning injured person, apparently, and then disappears.
Yep. Despite what Tony Khan said about Malachi Black being signed to AEW for a few more years, Raj Giri, no clue who that guy is. I should probably know, but I don't. Heard that Black's contract actually expires in early 2025. Giri specifically states that AEW is working to return him. He's also heard that there is major interest in him outside of AEW, which I would assume is Triple H.
Yeah, Triple H loved Aleister Black, the character. He was a big deal. NXT Black and Gold. Go watch any of those matches during the NXT time with Black and Gargano, Black and Velveteen Dream, Black and Adam Cole. Put on one of my favorite matches of all time. Yeah, he's fantastic. He's not the same that he was, obviously, from the Black and Gold era. He's older and can't do all the stuff he used to do. But maybe he can, and he's just holding back in AEW. I don't know.
Oh, Black Mass is still probably one of my favorite
One of the
finishers.
best finishers.
PW Insider notes that AEW and MVP came to terms on a deal about a month ago. We'll get to that on the show reviews.
Yeah.
During an interview on the Stick It to Wrestling podcast, I feel like there's a lot of podcasts out there that I've never heard of, and we're gonna, we're the premier weekly wrestling.
Yeah.
So don't listen to us. We're just gonna tell you what Stick It to Wrestling, but listen to us because we'll tell you what they say anyways.
Yep.
Matt Taven indicated that AEW star Wardlow is currently out of action due to a tricky knee injury, which is interesting because official reports is saying that he's not injured anymore and he's cleared to wrestle.
Well, Taven would know. I mean, I don't know.
Undisputed Kingdom partners, yeah.
Is that a thing still? I don't think so.
They show up in their t-shirts, but what does it really matter? I hope that's correct. Ibu of Wrestle Purists says Bobby Lashley will become All Elite and make his AEW debut in October. That's obvious because we'll get into it in the show. MVP is back, so it only makes sense. WrestleVotes Radio mentioned that the overall look and presentation of NXT will undergo significant changes for the brand's move to the CW. This might include changes to the color scheme and logo.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking of that in my head, and I was listening to Sam Roberts. NXT's got 2 shows on the road, Chicago and St. Louis coming up, and then they'll be back at the Performance Center because no other dates have been set for them selling tickets. So they'll be back at the Performance Center probably to a newer, fresh look. I think what NXT should do is those weekly shows that were named like the Great American Bash or Halloween Havoc or whatever the other ones that they did, those they should promote and sell tickets to and do it in arenas, I think.
Yeah.
And then obviously the PLEs still too.
Treat them like mini pay-per-views.
You still do the weekly PLEs, whatever you want to call them. But obviously your PLEs will be still arenas. But yeah, a new NXT set. That'll be interesting to see what they come up with in the era of ego.
That's probably they're gonna put the title back on Trick, aren't they? Anyways,
I don't know.
WrestleVotes also indicates that Los Angeles will host a debut episode of Raw on Netflix on January 26, 2025. WWE may be looking to run that show in the Intuit Dome.
Okay.
Intuit Dome.
Intuit.
Who plays there?
Intuit.
Is that where the Canes play? Anyways. The Observer says Thunder Rosa has been cleared to return from her recent concussion.
Didn't know she was hurt.
However, I love that wrestlers always dispute what the Observer has to say because it's so true. Rosa responded to the story on social media by saying it's not true and she has not been medically cleared.
That's just
good job, Meltzer. Good job.
I wanted to hop in because I don't know if you have this because it was like fairly recent and we're behind. Do you have Kill Switch Luchasaurus has been hospitalized?
Yep. He has been battling pneumonia for the last week.
I refreshed and that's the first thing I saw. So I didn't share.
It popped up late last night while you were sleeping. When we should have been recording.
You were sleeping too. Don't fucking start that shit again. We'll do it again. You want to do it again? You want to do it again? We'll do it again.
I was definitely up before you, and I was ready to go.
Congratulations. Guess what you got? Early bedtime.
No, actually, I was still up till like 2 in the morning.
That's on you.
I always am. Per PW Insider, there will be no Raw tapings on Monday, October 14th. WWE will instead tape 2 episodes of Raw on October 7th in St. Louis. This is due to WWE's European tour that's coming up.
Okay.
I didn't know that Raw was in St. Louis on October 7th, but it makes sense because NXT is in St. Louis on October
the night
8th.
After. Yeah.
Similarly, there will be no taping of SmackDown on Friday, November 1st. This is due to the travel schedule for that weekend's Crown Jewel event in Saudi Arabia. WWE will instead tape 2 episodes of SmackDown on October 25th in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Which is per usual whenever they go overseas. They always do double tapings so they can have everybody doing what they got to do.
Dynamite is always live. Always. AEW doesn't wait.
You want to get into the reason why that is? And as per usual, I send a million news stories to you in Discord because it's where I keep shit so I can go over it after the fact. And we will go through those right now on anything interesting.
Yes, you may. But while you look for that, let's go ahead and do what our favorite thing to do is, and let's take a look at the ratings real quick. From last week, Monday Night Raw did a 1.3 million and a 0.43 in the main demo. That was on the USA Network. NXT did a 620,000 at 0.19 in their demo. That was the final show on the USA Network. AEW Dynamite did 702,000, 0.23 in their main demo. And then SmackDown on the USA Network did 1,568,000 and a 0.45 in their main demo. They beat Raw. SmackDown still beating Raw in viewership, which is interesting.
Yeah, and the numbers are standard to the USA Network.
Right.
It's not a cable channel. It's a paid service, so they don't get as many viewers. It's simple as that.
Right.
Nothing to read into there. You can if you want, if you're one of those idiots, but
people will
read into there. There are some rumors that the reason behind Giovanni Vinci's current booking is a punishment for him after repeatedly trying to flirt with Tiffany Stratton, which made Ludwig Kaiser angry, leading him to complain to WWE.
I don't know if I believe that story, but that's hilarious if true. That's all I gotta say on that.
We're here for rumors. Okay. Harlem Lewis. I asked you a couple weeks ago. They trademarked the name. I'm like, who the fuck could Harlem Lewis be? The Harlem Lewis name recently trademarked by WWE is for Vincent Winey, who was on Raw recently losing a squash match against Odyssey Jones.
That is Cora Jade's boyfriend.
So that answers that. I did not expect a white guy to be tagged with the name Harlem Lewis, but here we are.
Yeah, it's fair.
Oh, Big E says there's still hope for his in-ring return to WWE. He mentioned that he will be getting scans in 3 to 6 months, and if the doctor says he's healthy, he'll discuss a possible return to pro wrestling. It's a roller coaster, man. It's
I'm not.
Up,
You're.
Down.
If you don't know this yet, you would have, because you would have said something. As you know, RK, this Wednesday is AEW Dynamite's 5-year anniversary. We have a fantastic match scheduled, by the way, Will Ospreay versus Ricochet. But just announced, Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada. Both titles will be on the line. Okada's Continental Championship, though, will only be on the line for 20 minutes. Bryan's championship will be on the line for the full 60 minutes.
Who the fuck comes up with these stipulations? So we're gonna get at least a 20-minute match out of this.
Okada versus Danielson.
Well, I mean, they do put on banners.
Yeah. This was they have to. This is the rubber match right here.
It's gonna be over 20 minutes long because Okada ain't losing that title.
I'm sorry, and AEW marks can piss off. This isn't a fucking television match.
No, it's not. It's a Wrestle Dream match.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, that's Mox. No, that's Darby. No, that's Mox.
It's Mox versus Danielson.
Oh, it's Mox. Darby Allin. What? Fucking Darby. What a shame, man. Anyways, nonetheless, we'll get into that on Grand Slam. But yeah, that's they just give away really good matches for free for some dumb reason. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I'm sorry. I was looking at the comments. Somebody said, "Okay, I love AEW, but what happened 5 years ago when they said they wouldn't insult our intelligence? Obviously, nobody's winning both belts. Obviously, no one's going to win 20 minutes. Just make it a singles match and call it a day."
Thank you. Because it's obvious. They are insulting our intelligence by putting that stipulation in there.
Make it make sense, man.
See, sometimes you got to pull a swerve and have a guy win a title on Raw.
Have Danielson roll him up in 10 minutes. Fucking do it. I don't care.
That would be horrible.
Fucking do it.
And they wouldn't have the balls to do it either. WWE SummerSlam comes back to New York, New Jersey, but this time it's 2 days and it's in MetLife Stadium. August 2nd, August 3rd, 2025. Minnesota gets fucked again. I thought they were... No, it's 2026 they're getting it, right?
Yeah.
It's weird that they wouldn't give the 2 days to Minnesota first when they were promised it first.
They were promised WrestleMania.
Yeah. And now they got relegated to the second SummerSlam that's 2 days long. they got nothing.
Be great if Indianapolis jumps them now for the WrestleMania bid they had.
Oh fuck! I hate it when Meltzer posts good shit. It really
every time you
pisses
say
me
his
off.
name, I cringe a little bit inside.
I know, but sometimes you know he hits the nail on the head, and you got to give him credit for it sometimes. AEW Grand Slam Australia is reportedly selling poorly, with ticket sales described as not good. Yeah. That's shocking. You think you have diehard fans in the States. We all know that. We hear them talk constantly about a lot of shit. Mm-hmm. You don't have diehard fans all over the world. I'm sorry. England, you can get away with it, but that's actually been downhill for the last 5 years. Japan, you probably get away with it. They don't. Yeah. I don't know if they've done anything in Japan. But Australia,
Osprey wants to.
Australia, you think you're going to pull there? It's a big country with not a lot of people.
A lot of weird wildlife.
Yeah, where like 90% of the wildlife can kill you. Yeah.
Yes, anyways, true.
Dave Meltzer goes on to say, not good. Stadium shows are tough. It's not England, where you have like a very large fan base and you have all of Europe to draw from as well. This is Australia, and the only place you can sort of draw from is maybe New Zealand, and that's still a flight. It's not like Japan is close. You've got a lot of you've not got a lot of countries close to Australia. It was an ambitious idea, but I remember when it was announced, I thought this was going to be really tough.
Start making the excuses, Meltzer. Start making the excuses.
Oh yeah, Drew posted on Twitter. Yeah. If you on Twitter, Larry After Bad Blood. It's a post. It's a picture of the Futurama dog outside of the, just growing old and dying. Yeah, that's sad.
Drew was on fire on Twitter.
Drew's on fire. He totally crucified some lady and her 7-year-old kid on Twitter.
That kid didn't deserve that. The lady didn't deserve that.
We talked about that.
I got nothing to add on my end. You hit all the ones I had.
Nikita Lyons returned from injury. She was at the NXT live event in Davenport, Florida for her first match since January.
Good. She's coming off the torn ACL, which means Cora Jade should be back ready too. So they literally tore theirs about the same time. Oh, I had Adam Cole was AEW's hopeful. Adam Cole's returning soon.
Yeah, well, other dirt she'd say that he's not even close. So,
well, you know what? Here on Top Rope Renegades, we hope he comes back soon.
I hope so too. Adam Cole's amazing.
Yes,
and he's been absolutely wasted in AEW. But anyways, nonetheless, this is the thing from Drew on Twitter. It was Ashley Claw-Witter. That can't be a real name, but anyways, please take the time to read this and understand from her perspective as a 7-year-old kid after her first Raw was tainted by this moment. Thank you for your time. This was when Drew walked out on Raw when he quit, I think. Actually, it looks like that. Anyways, there's some letter here. I can't read it. It's in really bad writing. It's from a 7-year-old kid. There it is. Oh no, you got the video here. So this was okay. The answer to that was, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Your kid is a stooge who can't write or spell. They will never achieve their dreams. Hope you're proud.
There it is. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Drew is cooking on Twitter. Here's 9 hours ago. He punted a dog off the bridge. Yep, that.
Yeah, Drew killing it.
That's Drew.
And that's it. That's all we got. That's news. That's the week of news.
I scrolled through. You hit everything that I seen on my end. Adam Cole, come back soon. That's what I read. And Tony Khan's a bit of a bitch for adding contract time to Rey Fenix. That's all I'm going to say. Tony Khan
Didn't he say at one point that he would not do anything like that? If a wrestler wanted to leave the company, he would allow their release.
He had some words to say negatively about WWE when WWE tacked time on Brody Lee's contract before they got him.
And that was Vince McMahon's doing.
Of course, but still. You said it was wrong then.
I'm almost positive Tony Khan said he would never do that.
Well, Tony Khan is a liar and a thief and a cheat and a stupido. With that being said, as you can see, it is time to dive into Monday Night Raw. But before we do that, quick bathroom break, and we will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. No, I can't get to the accent.
I think Finn Balor is the only one that could be like a white guy in a Mexican game and pull it off.
Well, that's a Danhausen mask, and I can't do Danhausen's accent. I don't know how to do that. That was in the Pro Wrestling Crate from this past month.
Yeah, that and
a lot of cool stuff.
This was a beauty.
Yeah, Gangrel's autograph.
Gangrel, let's go.
I think I got a couple of things here. Mustafa Ali, Micro Brawler, as well as another one. I'm spacing where it is. I have a bunch of them in here. Yeah. Oh, and a sticker.
Yeah, my sticker is on the PS5 there already. So,
pretty cool stuff. Yeah, but got my list of autographs here. Got quite a few. Currently working on the apartment thing to have a nice little setup office. Can't wait for that. Coming soon, by the way. Coming soon. Stay tuned. Because nothing
Kurt's gonna go out into the big old world by himself finally.
Well, again, I did it the other time, but long story. Roommates are assholes. It's just crazy. Anyway.
You didn't try living with your cousin, did you?
Hell no. That was the last thing I would have done. No. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw from September 23rd, 2024. They were in Ontario, Canada. Just kidding. Ontario, California.
Definitely not in Ontario, Canada, because Ontario, Canada is a big fucking place.
The main event was scheduled to be Braun Breaker and Jey Uso for the Intercontinental Championship. We will get into that at the end. We kick things off with Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed brawling backstage. Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett, of course, welcome us in after this, but they were kicking off hot. Joe and Wade, like you mentioned, that the two monsters, nothing could contain them. We'll find out more about them later on. We kick off the show in the ring, though, with Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan having a victory lap after beating down the Terror Twins of Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest the prior week. Liv said she promised to take everything from Rhea, and that is what she has done. Ripley interrupts and says she had something to say, that Dominic had finally found his cojones. If you don't know what cojones is, Google it. Ripley revealed that
cojones is testicular fortitude.
There you go. Ripley revealed at Bad Blood, Dominic Mysterio will be locked above the ring inside of a shark cage. This causing Dom to freak out, saying things like, I can't go back, like he had PTSD from when he was locked up in jail.
Seems legit.
Ripley then came in and hit a vicious headbutt on Liv after the announcement. That's how we kick things off on Monday Night Raw. RK, what do you think about Dom being in a shark cage above the ring for the world title match?
I mean, they obviously never had the I think they're going back to when, Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio were fighting for custody of Dom, and they were going to have him hanging from above the cage, and they never pulled the trigger. I think this is them just doing that finally.
I forget the last shark cage match I watched. I feel like it was Kevin Owens versus somebody, and Chris Jericho was hanging above them in a shark cage. forget who it was against. Maybe it's Samoa Joe. Probably wrong on that one. I don't know.
Just a weird gimmick, but anyways.
But they always get out. So
of course they do.
We'll find a way. We'll see how Dom gets out and helps Liv maybe retain her title. Stay tuned on the channel. We're probably going to knock out a quick predictions video and have that posted up before the show on Saturday. Kicking things off, though, Sami Zayn, Ludwig Kaiser is our first match of the evening. Sami Zayn is going to pick up the win here with a haluva kick. But WWE World Champion Gunther confronts Sami to tease a title match for later in the night. He comes out ready to rock in the ring gear. However, it was just Gunther being the perfect heel that he is, saying, just kidding, no. Said the title match would not happen tonight. Sami Ludwig, pretty good match. Gunther being the slimy heel that he is. Slimy is the wrong word, I think, but fantastic heel. The fantastic bad guy that he is. Really, did he swerve you?
No. It's classic heel, man. Classic. You think he was going to give up the title shot that easily?
What'd you think? What'd you think of the opening match?
I love that Barrett absolutely lost his mind when Gunther did that. He thought it was
happening, kind of like Joe did when all the weeks with the Yeet signs.
Yeah,
it was really good.
It was a good match. I mean, it went about 12 minutes long. I'm gonna say it every time that he shows up in a match. Ludwig Kaiser's legit, man. This guy is gonna be something. Zayn, honestly, he's such a good wrestler. He can make anybody look good, but he does not need to do it with Ludwig. So they put on a fantastic match. Typical though, Zayn gets the win over his Gunther's minion to get closer to that title shot.
Yep, that adds up. Backstage, Kofi Kingston's meeting with Xavier Woods, where Kingston's bringing back the classics. Booty-O's, Francesca, the Strambone, trying to get their peak New Day back. However, Woods says he wanted New Day to lock in and finally regain some tag titles after 3 years. Coining Woods as the quarterback. American Made interrupts to make fun of New Day's issues, which led to Woods challenging the Creed brothers to a match later in the show. And then as Woods had his back turned to Guy with New Day attire, he appears out of nowhere with a big plate of pancakes, and Kofi does the go, get out of here. They're teasing a split of the New Day. I don't know if it's going to happen. It might, it may not. Maybe Big E's the catalyst and all this. I don't know. RK, what do you think?
Only thing I can pick out of this whole two things. The ending bit there with the pancake was hilarious. But
yes.
Why Brutus Creed, man?
He's great. He's good.
A little extra in this promo, I gotta say. A little extra.
Well, it made me laugh because of like, Bruce, I just saw a video on Up, Up, Down, and you were playing video games with Xavier Woods. So like, come on, brother. Like,
beat it, nerd.
Like, come on, dude. Get out of here with that. No, it was pretty good.
This they're teasing it. I don't know if they're gonna pull through. They're teasing it, and I mean, we watched Raw this week, and they're teasing it. They're teasing it.
We get a vignette recapping the road that Jey Uso has been on, as well as Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker ahead of their main event match later in the show. Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio are complaining to Raw GM Adam Pearce regarding Dominic being in a shark cage with Dom. Like you said, I just can't go back, man. I can't go back. He did hard time. If you didn't know, Dominic Mysterio did hard time. Pearce responded by saying the decision was final. After that, they joined Carlito and JD backstage before JD confronted Ilya Dragunov to talk some trash. However, Dragunov said McDonough would not do anything. McDonough said he would see him down the road, and we didn't talk about it in the news, and I don't know. It's weird because we're talking about a Raw prior to the one we just watched, but it is news, and we might as well talk about it now. Ilya Dragunov, reportedly at a house show in a match with Gunther, has torn his ACL, and he will be out 6 to 9 months.
From my understanding, tough. I didn't hear that. I heard that on Raw tonight, but the thing that they didn't mention, I don't know why they would mention it, but all over Twitter and everything, apparently Gunther and Ilya tore down the fucking place.
Oh, they were doing a bunch of house show matches, and I'm sure they were great, but we saw the video on Raw tonight. When we see tonight, we're ahead, but Ilya limping to the back. It was legit. Torn ACL, 6 to 9 months. That sucks because I think there was a lot of A lot of build coming for Ilya.
Hey, I'm not worried. Ilya came back from a broken neck. And
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, that's true. He did to have that great match with Trick Williams. Yeah. Or was it Tony D? I don't remember.
Tony D. It was
Tony.
Tony D when he
It
came
was
back.
Tony.
After Ridge Holland broke his neck.
So Ridge did it again. That storyline. Yeah. Anyway. Up next, Dragon Lee taking on Carlito. Dragon Lee is actually going to pick up the win in this match. For the life of me, I can't recall much from this one. RK, what did you think of the match?
How can you recall much from a 2-minute match?
That's why I don't recall much. That makes sense. It was a quick little win for Dragon Lee. Karrion Kross is in the back meeting with The Miz, where Kross said many did not believe in him. Kross told Miz to do whatever it took to pick up the win because monsters come in all shapes and sizes.
You ready to go off a Fightful today?
Yes, I am.
Fuck, they're on point so far.
They're doing really well. I'm impressed. I have not taken my own notes like I've said I was due for the last few weeks. Anyway, up next, Kathy Kelly interviewing Sheamus backstage, where he said he was happy people were calling Pete Dunne Butch and said he wanted an English and Irish thing between himself and the Bruiserweight. You'll have to wait. Or was maybe this match happened tonight? I'm a little bit all over the place. Kind of what happens when you watch a Raw before. Anyway, Bronson Reed was making his entrance for his match against The Miz, but Braun Strowman attacked Reed from out of nowhere. Miz is trying to stop them, but Reed caught both of them with a tope suicida. Reed attacked stacked two security guards onto each other. Then they continued to brawl. Strowman hit a shotgun drop kick to send Reed to the outside, body slamming multiple guards before Bronson finally retreated, setting up something we will find out later in the show. The Miz avoided getting pummeled
again.
So I mean,
it's almost like Miz needs to have a heel turn soon.
Yeah. I feel like that might be coming. Drew McIntyre, he comes to the ring to address what CM Punk had said from the week prior on Monday Night Raw. Drew said he had reflected on Punk's words and has been told by his friends, his family, to not get in a Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood. But Drew said the match would proceed. McIntyre then said it was apropos that Punk called himself the devil, because it always has been good versus evil. However, Drew said Punk...
Holy shit, that's a big word for Fightful.
Yeah, no kidding. Or did I add that in?
I don't go there. I was going to say something. I'm telling myself not to go
there. Called himself the devil because it always has been good versus evil. However, Drew said Punk was just a man and he will easily break him inside of the Hell in a Cell. This was back-to-back weeks of serious Punk, very serious Punk, very serious Drew, looking down the barrel of the camera, cutting the promo and leaving. This match has so much good build to it, man.
That's why it should be the main event of Bad Blood. The build up to this, yeah, okay. The bloodline is huge. I get it. It's a big story, but we've had the last nearly 5 years of bloodline.
Uh-huh.
This Drew Punk thing has been, I don't know. It's a bigger thing than the bloodline thing right now, in my opinion.
Agreed. I agree with you. We'll see what happens comes Bad Blood. Up next, Jackie Redmond interviews Adam Pearce, where he reveals that Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman will have a last man standing. Check that last monster standing match next week on Monday Night Raw. After the announcement, Pearce had to try and stop Pete Dunne from attacking Sheamus, but Dunne still attacked him with a cricket bat. You'll have to tune into the next week's Raw to find out what transpires with the Sheamus and Pete Dunne situation. Damage Control, Io Sky, and Kairi Sane were confronted by the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. Belair gave props to Sky for winning last week, but Sky said that next time they face each other, they would take the titles with them. I'm interested to see how that match would go. I don't know if Bianca and Jade drop them. They should, to Io and Kairi. But we'll see. I think that match is coming, and when it does, who do you think should come out on top?
Damage Control. I think.
Yeah,
I think this little base run that Io and Kyrie have going for them is hot, and they've been putting on great. This was a good match with
Yeah,
Unholy Union.
yeah, we're about to get to.
They
Go ahead and
they've
go
been.
into that real quick. Go ahead and transition to that because that's what's next. Because
I thought you
I
just
was
skipped over the match.
no, that was after the promo.
Gotcha.
Fightful's doing good this week, man. I know it's not the huge here. The promo happened before they went out and got a win over the Unholy Union.
Huh. Anyways, great match.
Yeah, it was.
Kyrie, Io,
Yes.
Io, Bianca last week.
Yeah.
This match
Isla,
this week.
don't discredit Isla and Alba. They did their part, but yeah,
You know my liking of that team. So
yeah. But
this was a good
damage
match. I
control.
mean, yeah.
I'm
I
fully
think Damage
behind.
Control needs to take the titles though. They're hot right now. You got to
Uh-huh.
capitalize on it.
Up next, Kathy Kelly is interviewing WWE Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker ahead of his title match against Jey Uso. Braun said someone deserved to hold the title and be the workhorse, but Braun said it would not be anyone that could whoop his ass and vowed to retain his title. Then we get the Ring of Fire with the acronym PRF. Basically, the Ring of Fire, blah, blah, blah. We talked about it in the news. The War Raiders could be coming back.
So those letters, I mean, a lot of
Yep.
people, there's a lot of speculation, but those letters are apparently from the Norse runic alphabet, and those three letters spell war.
Yep. So that was that. We missed that actually. We were watching it live.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it must have been when we skipped over the commercial. It's probably like we almost missed the Wyatt's fucking promo
Yeah,
during the commercial.
sometimes when I go through the commercials, I miss. I try and go back and miss, but it happens. Then WWE proceeds to run back the vignette of Cody Rhodes confronting Roman in the football stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. If you haven't seen that piece of cinema from Cody and Roman at Georgia Tech's football stadium, go give it a look. It's pretty damn good. And as RK said earlier in the news, Paul Heyman had his hands all over it. Sami Zayn is backstage and he met with his old friend Jey Uso and gives him a nice little motivational speech ahead of the main event match against Braun Breaker. Up next, we get the Creed brothers, Julius Creed and Bruce Creed taking on the New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. The Creed brothers pick up the win here. I'm trying to remember in my head what caused this. RK.
So Kofi dropped near the end of the match. It was a great match, 15 minutes long actually. But Kofi got the jump on Julius at the end, but Woods wanted the tag, only to go after the interfering Gable instead. The distraction let Julius hit a running knee, setting up
That's
the
what it
Brutus
was.
ball for the pin. So yeah, it was just another miscommunication of the New Day.
Yep.
The
Massive
continuing downfall of the New Day.
Massive fan of the Creed brothers. I think their potential is through the roof. They need to get some titles on them, I think. Up next, Damian Priest has a vignette ahead of his match against Finn Balor. Priest asked himself if he was his brother's keeper. However, Priest concluded saying that Balor was not his brother, and he stated the following in Spanish. Yo soy tu paraca y en bad blood te voy a arrancar el corazón. I am your reaper at bad blood. I am your reaper and at bad blood. I'm going to rip your heart out. That was my attempt at Spanish. I haven't taken Spanish since.
Isn't Spanish like America's second language with all the?
Yo soy tu paraca y en bad blood te voy a arrancar el corazón. Close enough. That's as close as you're going to get for me. I think I read it right.
I just thought you guys would speak better Spanish in the States.
There's some things I can speak better in Spanish than I am your reaper at bad blood. I'm going to rip your heart out. Never used that in a sentence in Spanish before, so that was a first. We get a new vignette from the Wyatt Six with the following message: I am but dust, a worm, a rebel. You can cast your light of contents. Jesus, I can't say that word. Countenance. COUNTENANCE.
COUNT
ENANCE.
countenance.
Countenance. Okay, I was gonna say it right. I thought it was some other thing. Light of countenance. Yeah, I definitely didn't come up with the other word earlier. Upon me, and I say I love you. The
Aggro
words of
Pro.
the
See,
red.
the
You
fucking
speak.
360. It's a clock. We came back to Aggro Pro. So
You
it's great.
speak. We follow my life for you. After this, we get a vignette for Pure Fusion Collective, and then we get backstage. Latino World Order.
Just to let you know what countenance means. It's a person's face or facial expression.
Okay. Latino World Order is meeting with Xavier Woods to apologize to the New Day. However, Woods took offense as they cost him the tag titles last week. And in all of this, Rey Mysterio challenges Xavier to a match next week, which Woods accepts.
Which is just weird.
Yeah. Well, it makes more sense when we get to the following Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, it's just weird at the time that.
Yeah. We get a fantastic video package promoting the Last Monster Standing match between Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman to take place on the following Monday Night Raw, building up the hype for that. But all the hype is real as we get to the WWE Intercontinental Championship match, the main event of Monday Night Raw. Jey Uso taking on the champion Braun Breaker, and this was a banger of a match. That, if you don't know, now you know. Jey Uso is your new Intercontinental Champion, and him and Braun put on a fantastic match. RK, what did you think?
Great match. They spun it in a way that you're like, you weren't really all the lead up to it. You're like, Jay's got to win, right? But then during the match, you're like, well, fuck.
I
Braun was
wasn't.
big
I
dominant.
was.
It was like, so nonetheless, the ending was a surprise. It honestly could have gone either way. I would have preferred the dominant run from Braun Breaker myself. But Jey Uso's hotter than ever.
Right. Has been. I mean, he's on fire.
So
But what did we do the entire show, though? The whole show watched,
and
we
obviously
went back and forth. We just kept going back and forth. The whole show we're watching Raw.
Vince Russo said something really dumb, which is typical. He said that, yeah, he does. That's weird. He must. We should have Vince Russo on.
I don't know about that one.
We'd have to. I'd have to have a bro counter.
Well, I think he charges people.
Yeah, but I mean, he would be more exposed to the world with us. Anyways, anyway, where was I going? Vince Russo said that he believes that Braun Breaker did some things backstage that upset higher ups, and that's why they put the title on Jay here.
No.
After watching tonight, that is clearly not true at all because they got bigger plans for Braun. Just Vince Russo just spewing his shit as per usual. Yeah, anyways, great match. Jay and Braun killed it. Braun is so good. Braun is definitely still the future of this company.
Yeah. I was trying to see if you can book Vince Russo. I don't see it anywhere on his website, but he does follow me. I mean, I guess I could slide in his DMs if you really want me to. Hey, bro, you want to come be a bro on the show with the bros? Bro, you never know, bro. But yeah, happy for Jey Uso. I think he truly deserved the Intercontinental Championship. Braun has all the time in the world, and he will be. Here you go. Yes, Braun, you lost to Jey Uso. You're going to be a world champion before Jey Uso. There you go. Don't worry about
Jay's never going to be a world champion. He's not that tier.
I don't think so either. I agree. I don't think so.
Jay's not that tier.
I don't think so. I don't think so. But anything's possible in the WWE.
Look, you look at all the top guys who've held that title outside of some weird choices like Kofi Kingston and shit. They start at, they do the tiers. They start at mid card, they go to the top tier, right? But they go at mid card relatively quick in their careers. Like Shawn Michaels, Intercontinental title, went on to be world champion.
Yep.
We know the rest of the stories. Stone Cold started mid card, worked his way to the top. We know the rest of the story. Rock, same shit.
$1 million champion, by the way, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Don't you forget it.
Yeah, nonetheless, nobody even knows what that title meant.
It was a $1 million title. This is $1 million man.
Yeah,
$1 million
a guy that made
title.
a title for himself because he couldn't win a title.
It was $1 million title, dude. You wouldn't want the fucking $1 million title?
No. I'd rather
I'll
have
put
the
the $1 million
Wayne
title.
title.
You can have both.
Nonetheless, Jey
same.
Uso, 14 years, 5,200 some odd days before he won a singles title in WWE.
Yeah.
He's not that top tier guy. He'll forever be
sadly.
top tier tag team guy. Yes.
One of the best.
Mid card, obviously now Intercontinental Champion. His new belt is fire. It might be my second favorite Intercontinental Championship of all time.
With the blue,
next to
blue
the that blue is a nice touch. Next to the white belt, of course, that is always the classic. Yeah, he deserves it, 100%. And Braun is going to be world champion by the end of next year.
Yep, agreed. Let us keep moving along to NXT. It is the final NXT on the USA Network. We kick things off with a match. No promo here. It's the NXT Women's North American Championship. Kalani Jordan defending against the woman that smacked her in the mouth the week prior, Ren Sinclair. Kalani's going to retain here, but Ren put up a pretty good fight, but it wasn't a match for Kalani. What did you think of the open to the final NXT on the USA Network?
This is Shawn Michaels working his magic. Not so much in the match. Match was whatever. It was just under long. It was okay. Match was serviceable, but wasn't that blow you away match. The thing is Shawn Michaels is slowly building and developing Kalani to feel like a big star, and that's what we're starting to see, and we saw it here tonight.
Agreed.
What Kalani needs now is just a big time opponent to solidify that standing in the industry.
I think that's coming when you have names that are coming back from injury. I could see Cora Jade being that to her, because Cora's not going to come back and I think be in that one main title picture because it's about to get clogged up. It's about to get clogged up big time. We'll see. We will see. We get a video package that's just promoting the transition, of course, to the CW network. Highlights Trick Williams, Shawn Michaels doing local and national media to promote their debut.
I feel like Fightful watched our podcast for the last month or two because they're on point.
Maybe they got new writers. I don't know. Maybe I took a job. You never know. Apropos, Ethan Page is participating in a press conference. He answers a few questions and then claims he will go find CM Punk.
Apropos, is that the police? Apropos.
Knock, knock, knock. CM Punk is backstage speaking with Javon Evans. Trick Williams comes in, tries to talk to Punk about looking out for Ethan Page's chicanery next week. But Punk insists he's going to call it chicanery. I pronounce it right, chicanery. But Punk insists.
I'm amazed at all the big words on Fightful.
They're just coming out of my mouth. Chicanery next week. But Punk is. I told you I write this now. But Punk insists he's going to call it right down the middle. He's not going to show favoritism to that one side. He did mention to Trick that he said, I hope you're the guy, but if you're not the guy, I will raise Ethan Page's hand. Simple as that, and we'll keep it moving. But you don't believe me? I wrote this stuff. These are my notes, not Fightful's. Axiom, Nathan Frazier.
If you guys are just listening and not watching, I just gave Kurt the look. So
Axiom and Nathan Frazier are on the Grayson Waller effect. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller discussing the dissension among the NXT Tag Champions. Champions, of course, return with the same discussion points about their challengers, which makes way more sense because we've seen it for weeks and weeks and weeks between A-Town Down Under, and I wish they'd just pull the trigger and split them up. Things, of course, get physical, and the challengers stand over the champions holding the title belts. That match will happen on the St. Louis edition of the, I guess you could call it week 2 on the CW, but the St. Louis episode of
That
NXT.
is correct. Can we just mention the fact that Nathan and Axiom have totally leaned into the fact that their name is now Fraxium?
Yeah, they're cool with it. They're cool with it. Fraxium, which it was meant as a joke, and they're like, "Yeah, we're with it." Ashante Adonis continuing backstage to pester the NXT Women's Division.
Yes. Fightful finally fucked up. Thank God.
Okay. What I missed?
Lexus and Oro talk about not having a father and agree to be the best man wins tonight.
Oh, they fucked up.
Hank Walker and Tank Ledger are ready to beat up the OC, and then Ashante Adonis.
Oh yeah, they did. Look at that. They missed all that. I mean, I missed that in my notes. How apropos of me.
Fuck, you know what I'm gonna get you, because this is all. I'm gonna get you a word of the day calendar.
I'm gonna kick off the show every week with that. Today's word of the day brought to you by. All right, Hank and Tank.
You'll be like that episode of Friends where Joey got the word of the day calendar, and he just always just said that one word and was like,
Hank and Tank have a match with the OC. As RK said, they were ready to beat them up, and they do. Hank and Tank pick up the winner of the OC in a match. What do you think? And what are they doing with the OC?
Yeah, I love Carl Anderson. I love Luke Gallows. You know, they're pretty much Bullet Club WWE, hence OC, original club. They are the original Bullet Club. They truly are. It just almost seems like they're checked out at this point. I don't know. This match was not very good.
Yeah, it was not. They were making a paycheck.
Yeah.
Well, who was it that was taking some pretty insane bumps, though? Was it Hank or Tank?
It was Hank. No. Which one's the bigger? Hank. Tank was taking some pretty insane bumps.
Off the turnbuckles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was... All right, man. Do what you got to do. John Evans is backstage talking to Cedric Alexander, where they're interrupted by Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Evans kind of punks out the former WWE Tag Team Champions by claiming, "Oh, look behind you, Kevin Owens," and both of them turn scared, and Cedric and Javon walk off laughing their asses off. Pretty hysterical little moment there. Oro Mensah, Lexus King, as mentioned, Lexus King was the nice guy in this whole situation. May the better man win leading into the match. It was very weird. But Oro picks up the win by a roll-up by using the ropes, which is funny. Lexus had the match won, but he refused to keep his feet on the ropes because he didn't want to win by those means. Oro won by those means. I don't know what the hell was going on here. Is Lexus getting a face turn? I don't know.
I think Lexus is getting a face turn, and they're just like, fuck it. Let's just the most ridiculous way possible and then just go with it.
Well, I just saw a picture of him as they go to debut on the CW network in Chicago.
Oh, he's got
his beard. He's got the Chicago. Yeah, it's sick. He's a face, man. He's a face now, I guess. I don't know.
It was a weird way to do it, but they're obviously turning him face. It was just very weird. The match, it was weird. Especially with how villainous he's been for like the last 2-3 months.
Right. Beating up Dante Chin and people like that. A Tony D'Angelo training montage plays. He will face Obafemi on the October 8th episode, which is the St. Louis show for the NXT North American title. But next week, they will be on Miz TV. Next match is Ridge Holland taking on Riley Osborne as the gauntlet continues of Ridge destroying Chase University. And Ridge continues to do so and beats down Riley after he gets the win. But Riley got the upper hand at the end, didn't he?
He did, sort of.
Thea screaming like a mad woman the entire time.
I'd let her scream at me every day of my life. I'd be okay with it.
Jesus Christ.
What? I'm sorry. Did I upset you?
No.
Okay, good. I'm just telling my truth.
The match.
I'm just telling my truth.
The match. It was pretty quick, wasn't it? It was quick.
It was a quick match. That's not the point. This is just clearly setting up the big return of Andre Chase, and there's
Will he
nothing
take
wrong with
out
how they
Ridge
did it.
Holland?
Yeah.
Or will Ridge just stand tall? I don't know.
Well, it's hard to believe that Andre Chase could beat Ridge Holland, but it's the obvious way to go with it, and it works.
Yep. Obafemi, there. By the way, there's a press conference deal going on the whole time during
Also
NXT
weird.
on the show. It was
Also
very
weird.
weird. They would cut to it sometimes and whatnot. They cut to it here with Obafemi answering some questions at this said press conference. Basically, he just says Tony D'Angelo is broken, and he kind of laughs off the challenge. But my favorite segment of the night, second favorite, I don't know. One of my favorites of the week.
You can.
It's my
my favorite. My favorite is obviously
at the end. This might have been my favorite segment of the night. It was Wesley, Zachary Wentz. They were supposed to have a satellite conversation, but during the break, they showed what happened, and they basically were just cussing each other out, saying, "I'm going to fuck you up." With Wesley invoking the name of Gigi Dolan, which is Zachary Wentz's fiance. And Zachary goes down. What did you say? Where are you? They find each other backstage and they brawl, leading to what is probably my most anticipated match to see.
this
on
match
the debut of
is
the
going to be
CW.
great. This match is
So
going to be great.
yeah, this was so good.
Now that we just talked about this, and I'm going back, there was a lot of censored swearing in this promo. It kind of, with all the rumors of being on the CW, going to TV 14, maybe there were like of what you can expect on the CW.
It was very similar to Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle. Remember that segment? Very similar to that. But yeah, this was really good. Building to what I'm looking forward to is going to be a fantastic match. Wendy Chu and Rosemary pick up the win over Carmen Petrovich and Brinley Reese. Carmen gets a what?
Ava makes Fatal Influence versus Lola Vice, Jada Parker for next week. They're in the office. They end up arguing about it. No? Okay, cool.
There you go. Fightful didn't have it. Wendy Chu, Rosemary get the win over Carmen Petrovich and Brinley Reese. The ending is very weird. Carmen has eyes for Ashanti Adonis, apparently. Because Ashanti comes down to give a rose to somebody in the crowd, and Carmen is distracted and upset by this, leading to Brinley having to take the pin. The match itself really wasn't much of a match to talk about.
Thank God they gave Rosemary a win finally, though.
True. So shout out to that part. Where are we? Ethan Page now confronts CM Punk, says he doesn't have time for Punk's drama. Punk promises there will be none, and he's not going to let anybody cheat next week. He's calling it straight down the middle, just as he said to Trick Williams. Fatal Influences, Jasmine Nixon, Fallon, Henley, and JC Jane are participating in the press conference, as we alluded to. Jada Parker and Lola Vice interrupt things, and things get heated as security comes to separate them. This leads us to the main event, which is A-Town Down Unders, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory taking on Javon Evans and Cedric Alexander. A-Town Down Under picks up the win because Nathan Frazier and Axiom come to ringside for some reason and interrupt everything, getting in the faces of their challengers, costing Javon and Cedric Alexander the match. But the match itself was what you expect with these four athletes. It was pretty good, in my opinion. What did you think?
It's interesting that they gave another loss to Javon here. Not, I mean, a tag match, but they gave the loss to Javon with the pin. It's been multiple times the last few weeks.
Yeah, but this one was it was the whole distraction deal with whatever. But
yeah, but give the loss to Cedric.
Yeah, I don't think it hurts Javon Evans. I think his ceiling's still really high. But
I don't know.
I agree. I see what you're saying.
You pin enough losses on somebody, it does kill the momentum.
Next, Trick Williams participates in the press conference situation. Says he wants to add his name to the short list of multi-time NXT champions. We will see. And then the final press conference event of the evening was in ring.
Funaki
with Julia and Roxanne Perez. Perez says she was a fan of Julia before anyone in the audience knew who Julia was. Bullshit. We knew. Julia says it's time for Roxanne to pass the torch. There was a lot said here.
Did an AEW fan write her promo? You didn't know who she was before she debuted on
no shit.
NXT.
Basically, Julia says it's time for Roxanne to pass the torch, and she will. And then there's a bit of interruption on the satellite. People are confused, and then up on the billboard, Stephanie Vacour appears and asking each woman, "What will you do when they realize that whoever wins is she will be waiting for on the other side?" So Stephanie Vacour has made her appearance, and once again, CW, Roxanne Perez, Julia. Will Stephanie Vacour be there? I don't know. I think so. Maybe, maybe not. Doesn't matter. The NXT Women's Division is the hottest in professional wrestling.
Not if you ask Mercedes.
I don't give a shit what Mercedes Monet has to say. That's how I'm going to say her name from now on. Mercedes Monet.
You pull it off well.
Yeehaw, brother. Mercedes Monet. You see what Mercedes Monet said on AEW last week? I missed her when she was.
How'd you go from RuPaul to a Texas accent?
Easy, dude. Easy, dude. I got accents lined up for days. For days, I could do this. But yeah, that's a wrap on NXT. And I guess once again, I'll say I'm stoked. I'm excited for the October 1st debut on the CW network. A lot of great matches scheduled for that first card.
Their numbers are gonna be up. They better be.
I really think should be. They really should.
Actually, you were even surprised because we were talking about it. You were surprised the amount of viewers that the CW actually gets on average for their shows.
Yeah, it gets more than I thought. Because I don't hear much about the CW. But I'll be tuning in every single week.
I knew all about CW because I watched 15 years of Supernatural.
That's where Supernatural. Okay, man. And then I've watched some CW before.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that leads us to Dynamite Grand Slam. But before we do that, we're halfway through the shows here. We got to just quick little pause, and we'll be right back. Welcome back in to the Top Rope Renegades. Time to get into AEW Dynamite Grand Slam Edition. Headlined, well, it was the main event. It's not your main event. No, it's NXT. It's not. It's AEW. Sorry, my headset off. My ears were killing me. Switched to AirPods, so if I look a little different, that's fine.
Oh yeah, you look so different. I didn't even recognize you.
Yeah, I know. It's just changed everything about me, my facial features and everything. No, there's just not ear muffs around my ears. Anyway, I thought it was going to be headlined by their world champion, Bryan Danielson, defending against Nigel McGuinness. That was not the case. That is what we kick things off with. Nigel came to the ring. They hit Bryan Danielson's AEW theme. The referee started a 10 count. That apparently would have declared Nigel the winner because that's how things work. Then the final countdown hit, and Danielson came to a massive pop. Danielson picks up the win over Nigel McGuinness, and what people are saying was a fantastic match. It's everything we expected, and I didn't think it was that good. What do you think?
For the way they're hyping it up, it was a letdown. Was it a bad match? No.
No,
it wasn't
a bad
great match? No. It was a good match. That's about it.
Right.
I mean, the way they hyped this up, though, but just the little stupid things that just get to me, and I hate nitpick. I don't want to nitpick as much. Samantha Irvin got into my head today. She said WWE, but you can tie it to all wrestling companies. These companies hire a lot of people, work crazy hours, put in a shit ton of money to entertain us, and all we want to do is criticize it instead of enjoy it.
Maybe we should change the way we do things then.
She's not wrong. She is not wrong. She hit the nail on the head. A lot of wrestling fans, all we do is sit around and criticize instead of just enjoying it.
All I hear is criticize.
But in the end, we are here on a podcast, and all if we was everything lovey-dovey, doves flying, fucking all that happy bunny rabbit shit, we'd probably be pretty boring, and we'd just be doing just a recap show.
True. And
We're giving
everything
opinions and
was
stuff.
pretty good before we started watching Dynamite every week.
Again, your fault, but nonetheless,
That's not my fucking fault. That is not my fault. And you can't even say that. I'll say it until the end of time. When we started this podcast and we started watching Dynamite weekly, it was pretty damn good.
It was pretty damn good.
And then things just went south so fast that I don't know what happened.
Something's just off, and it has been for a long time. Nonetheless,
yeah,
good match. I'm going to pick out a couple things I didn't like. The starting with the 10 count from the referee, but the stipulation was to the match right on the card if Daniel Bryan can wrestle. So if he can't wrestle, why would you count him out? He just can't wrestle. So just a dumb start.
Yeah, I was confused about that too. I was
it makes no sense to Bella's arena how you can count somebody out, even when they were said if he can wrestle. So if he doesn't show up, obviously he couldn't wrestle, and the match is a moot point. Nonetheless, whatever. And then the ending, the thank you when fucking McGinnis was in the bell lock.
So
just so corny.
That was as you know, they have a history of matches.
I know what it was about. It's just corny. I'm sorry.
He has never tapped out to that ever. That was his first time of tapping out.
So he's saying thank you that he tapped out for once?
I'm not saying it wasn't corny. I agree with you totally. It was very corny.
Get rid of those two things in this match. It's a good match. It's serviceable as an opening. You got Bryan Danielson, who's amazing. You got Nigel McGuinness, who at one time was an amazing wrestler. He truly was. Yeah. You go back and watch some of the great matches, absolute great matches that Nigel and Bryan had in Ring of Honor. It's there. This match, just those two things bugged the shit out of me. The rest of it was a good match. I mean, I'm not going to criticize every little bit of it. It was a good match. It wasn't fantastic. It wasn't a 5-star, 6-star, 18-star Tokyo Dome match. It was a good match.
Yeah, I can agree with you. It was okay. I didn't think it. I think why I say it's okay is because when I opened up social media, all I saw was that was like the greatest thing ever. And I'm like, it wasn't that shit good.
Bugs the fuck out of me. It's just tribalism at its finest, defending every little bit of their just. It was a good match. It wasn't a fucking amazing match. It was a good match.
They did. They came out. They did their thing. At the end of this, Christian Cage came out and almost signed his contract for a guaranteed AEW World Title.
This was funny.
Kip Sabian snuck up behind him, stole his pin, so that didn't happen. Pac and Claudio Castagnoli were right there just behind the curtain, weirdly, watching all of this go down.
Apparently, they stayed there all fucking night, just waiting.
What did you think? I mean, yeah, it was pretty funny. That's really all there is to add to that.
I laughed. I popped a little bit. Kip Sabian just coming, yoink, later.
The FTW Championship was on the line. Hook defending against Roderick Strong. Hook is going to pick up the win here. After the match, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, and Roderick Strong shook his hand. And then Hook retired the title. Not himself. I wished he would have, but he didn't. He retired the title, and he gave it back to his father, Taz, and he walked away. The match itself, what did you think? And what do you think of the retirement of, I guess, the FTW Championship? No longer one of the million titles on AEW TV.
So Roderick Strong, you and I can both agree, fantastic wrestler, right?
Top tier wrestler.
All right. So Hook, a young guy, right? Developing, working on his stuff. You know, he'll get there. He's not obviously there yet, but he'll get there. Just doing another hardcore match, which is pretty much all we really see from Hook. You have a chance here to have Roderick basically walk Hook through a 12-minute match and teach him some things, but instead you just go the hardcore gimmick all the way through. You're wasting chances like this for a young guy to get a first-hand lesson from an absolutely fantastic wrestler. That's how I look at this match.
Yeah, they didn't go down that route. So,
as for the title being retired, who gives a? I don't fucking care. I really don't.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. Up next, and what I thought would have been the main event after the main event I thought was supposed to be the world title match. It wasn't. I thought it was going to be the AEW tag team title match. It wasn't. Up next is that match, the Young Bucks defending against Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher. The Young Bucks retain here. Don Callis attempted to give the screwdriver that he always has on him to Kyle Fletcher. Kyle went to try and use it. Will stopped him. The Young Bucks used the tag titles. In the end, EV trigger, 1, 2, 3. You know, with these guys in the ring, you're expecting a good match, and I thought it was a pretty damn good match here. What do you think?
So the Bucks are great. We watch matches with the Bucks. They're fantastic. Lately, they kind of been meh. This match was back to the Bucks being fantastic.
Yep.
Ospreay, amazing. Kyle Fletcher, not a fan, but fuck, he can go. The whole angle here makes sense. They're setting up the Kyle Fletcher, Ospreay, Don Callis whole thing going on there with the screwdriver, Ospreay, blah, blah, blah. They're setting shit up there. It works.
Will already left the Don Callis family. He was already put in this situation. And so
but there's
now
a favor that he owed Don. There's a favor he owed Don.
Yeah, but now what happens with Kyle Fletcher? Because now
they're
is he going to stick?
I'm intrigued. They're doing a little bit of story.
You know what I think?
I
think with them flashing the United Empire logo, the United Empire might be coming to AEW.
I'm intrigued. Nonetheless, they're telling a story, and I'm intrigued. So bravo, good job
with it. All the way.
This is a bit of a problem for AEW right now. Is their tag team divisions in shambles, and as it stands right now, the Young Bucks are going to hold on to those titles for a long time.
Yeah. You almost got to build a new tag team or figure something out.
But
I don't know.
There's nobody on that roster that I can believe beat the Young Bucks and make it better than what the Young Bucks do with it.
The Outrunners.
Maybe. But they're not even all elite. They didn't get a graphic.
They didn't get a graphic. You're right.
Yeah. That's great match. Fantastic match.
Yep.
Best match of the night.
Backstage, the remarkable Renee Paquette is interviewing the conglomerations Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Mark Briscoe, and they offer Rocky Romero an official spot in the group. Rocky Romero is, I think, officially a part of the conglomeration now.
Yeah, sure.
If you want me,
conglomeration, you could honestly put anybody in that group and it still works because it's the conglomeration.
If you want me to recap what Mark Briscoe said, I cannot.
Vociferous.
That was the word of the day.
That was the word of the day.
The word of the day.
Which is what the crowd will be tonight and on Collision, which I'm assuming is some form of excited.
Vociferous. That's what the crowd's going to be tonight and on Collision because we got a match on Collision. The conglomeration versus, and I forget who they were versing. But that was my attempt at a Mark Briscoe impression.
Especially of a person or a speech. Vehement or clamorous. So
was my impression
two more
bad?
Big words describing another big word, which is what dictionaries like to do a lot, is describe big words with other big words, because then you got to go look up those words. And by the time you're done, you've read the whole dictionary and you're a fucking genius.
But was my impression bad?
No, your impression was fine.
Conglomeration.
Yeah,
we're coming for you, Hulk Hogan. Anyway,
brother.
You know, by the way, speaking of brother, I haven't seen Mercedes in a minute. Is she doing a movie or some shit?
No, I think she's recording a music album to be released next year.
Oh yeah,
Tony likes to let all his talent do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tony Schiavone interviewing, not Tony Khan, Tony Schiavone interviewing Prince Nana. Prince Nana gives us an update on Swerve. Swerve is fighting hard every day to come back for the people, but if you check social media, he's on every single morning show and podcast imaginable. He's on the Breakfast Club and all that good stuff, taking shots at WWE. I love Swerve, but come on, man. The new one is, you saw what the new one was. The what was your opinion on WWE's reaction to you being paid so much money? And his reaction was, they don't like seeing black people getting paid or something. I was like, come on.
WWE is so in every member of AEW's heads, it's hilarious.
And then there was
And
the
you know what the
contract.
WWE's approach? You know what the WWE's approach to all that is? Is nothing. They don't go on interviews and shit and talk shit about
No.
AEW. They just go about their business.
They take subtle shots here and there that you got to be really smart to catch. But other than that,
They don't
Well,
publicly ever bring anything up.
they don't
And
have time
AEW
for
should
it.
just AEW honestly should just stay, do their shit, and make their product better. Stop
Right.
fucking caring what WWE does, because WWE don't give a fuck what you guys are doing.
MVP makes his AEW debut, interrupting Prince Nama, saying Nana is too busy worrying about dancing and selling coffee and all that, but because he's not good at his job, basically, because the person that took Swerve out is still standing. The person that took his title is still standing, and Nana's busy selling coffee. And that
I
if he wants,
swear to fucking God, if Bobby Lashley comes in and Swerve and Bobby and MVP create some kind of
no, I don't think.
business, I'm just saying, if that happens,
I agree. I don't
why?
think that. I pray that doesn't happen.
One thing Bobby Lashley does have a very strong chance of overshadowing anything Swerve could do, just because of who Bobby Lashley is, his history and everything, which could be detrimental to the building of Swerve as your guy.
I think that that's a feud in the meantime.
Tony just has such a love with being in WWE guys, just to almost stick it to WWE instead of just focusing again on his own guys.
I think that's got to be. You don't join MVP in them. I think what you do is you keep, because what have we been torn? What is Swerve, a face or he's a face? All right, Swerve's a baby face. What happens when you tell a heel manager no? They get shitty, and they come after you. Bobby Lashley shows up. Bobby Swerve. That's the feud. In the meantime, even though I still think Swerve should probably be going back after the world title. But
nonetheless, actually, again, fucking Meltzer. He went on record of saying, well, MVP and everything, and probably Bobby Lashley coming to AEW is obviously, big signings and whatever, but he's like, AEW's got to stop focusing on bringing in old guys and start focusing on building their younger talent.
Agreed. He actually said something correctly. Maybe he can unblock me now.
If you watch this, Dave, I swear to God,
he does not watch our show. I guarantee it. When he blocked our YouTube account when I made the caption, "Kurt gets blocked by Dave Meltzer." All right, we're done. We're blocked. Up next, we get a vignette showing Jack Perry. Jack Perry's bust. We didn't even really see Jack Perry. AEW World Championship match. Mariah May defending against Yuka Sakazuki. Wait, no, Sakazaki. Sorry, no Suzuki. Sakazaki. Mariah's going to pick up the win over Yuka here. I guess we'll get to the after the match part. That's kind of what was mattering, because Willow Nightingale's back. By the way, I have something really cool that I ordered off of ProWrestlingTees.com. I've been wanting to buy one of these for a while, but a wrestler that no wrestler that I like has popped up on it. It's the Rob Shambaugh art that he does. They're really, really cool art pieces. And then he'll do a wrestler and they'll sign it. But nobody I've been like, yeah, that's cool. They're like $60 or something like that. But it's like, no wrestler that I really like's done it. Like he did one of Camille. Like I'm not going to get a Camille one. But he did one of Willow. And there was only like 10 of them made when I looked. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get that one. So I got a cool little Willow painting thing. So I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But anyway, Willow, she comes down to confront the champion after Mariah went to attack Sakazaki again. But then Mina Shirakawa's music hit, distracting Willow and allowing Mariah to hit her with the championship. Mina seemed to disapprove of this and was surprised, but kind of celebrated a lit with Mariah and kind of stopped Yuka from attacking Mariah there afterwards. Mina's back.
This is where the women's division in AEW suffers. Sakazaki does not feel like a big time challenge to Mariah May. Obviously, it looks like Marina Shirakawa is up next. That doesn't seem like a big time challenge here. You should be having Willow
Well, I think
get in
Willow's
there
next.
for you. No, I think it's gonna be Mina.
Well, no, hear me out. I think it's going to be Willow. Mariah's going to beat Willow, but she's going to do it in ways that Mina doesn't approve, and then it's Mina.
I think it's just gonna go straight to Mina.
But I'm not booking this shit. I wouldn't tell
Unless it should be Willow. I think Willow should be in that picture.
I think Willow
been,
should be the world champion.
They've been shafting her ever since they took the title off of her to give to fucking Mercedes. Like,
yeah, agreed. Next up is John Moxley taking on Darby Allin with Darby Allin's AEW world title shot on the line. That will be for Wrestle Dream. Mox is going to pick up the win over Darby here with a fantastic Death Rider. What do you want to call it? A super Death Rider from the top rope.
Avalanche.
An avalanche.
Anything top rope is Avalanche.
Avalanche Death Rider, which was beautifully done. Darby took some punishment in this match per usual. The match itself, before we get to the final of the show here, what'd you think? And are you happy with the result?
No, the match it was obvious who was going to win. Of course, it's John Moxley. They want to set up John and Bryan Danielson. It's obvious. I want to see Darby get that shot, but obviously they're not ready to pull the trigger on that. I know you've been a little critical of Darby lately, actually. So
I don't hate Darby Allin, but I'm kind of over it now. Like, I get what he does. I get the whole he's gonna kill himself. That's what he's gonna do. I mean, that dude does some stuff that I'm like, wow, you're putting your body through a lot. But this is also the same dude that's going to climb Mount Everest next year, most likely, or whenever he can do it again. Was it 2 years or something like that? So I like Darby, but here recently, I didn't like the whole internet, and I guess you kind of were on the team too, of, yeah, he could be a world champion. I don't know. I don't think he is. And that's me being honest.
I think he could pull off. But that's just because I like the dude. I'm not saying that he is absolutely the guy to pick as your face.
Yeah,
but
I'm not saying I don't like him. I get it. I get it. I get why he's likable. The shit he does in the ring, not a lot of people will do. So he has my respect. He has my respect.
He is current day Mick Foley.
Yeah, he has my utmost respect. But yeah. After the match, though, Bryan Danielson came up from behind Moxley and attempted to choke him out with a tie of some sorts. Throwback to when he choked out Justin Roberts on WWE TV and got did he get fired for that and then brought back or something? I forget.
Sure did.
Claudio Castagnoli and Pac came down to make the save. Commander Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Ken came out to even the odds from Danielson. Mox escapes through the crowd with the crew. Danielson says that said, well, you want to declare war, Mox? Well, fine. I'll declare war. That brings the show to an end. What did you think of the finish there?
Brian, if your backup is Private Party and Commander, you might as well just give Moxley the title.
Yeah, you're in trouble. Where was Wheeler?
Hey, if we watch Collision, we'd know.
Don't we get Wheeler Yuta coming up on the 5-year anniversary of Dynamite? I think trios
so,
matches happening.
Some shit went down at Collision Grand Slam.
I gotcha. Well, that's AEW. Dynamite. You excited for their 5-year show?
I'm not really excited for anything AEW does, but that being said, this show wasn't horrible. It was serviceable.
Yep, it was not as bad as the week prior, but fair enough. Good on them. Let's keep things moving to SmackDown. Welcome back. Quick little BRB. Final break of the show. Time to dive in to SmackDown. From September 27th, 2024. The big matches that were promoted for this were Bayley versus Naomi for the number 1 contender spot against for Nia Jax. We had the Andrade Carmelo match. As we know, Andrade leads that series 3-2. We kick things off, of course, with always Michael Cole, Corey Graves, welcoming everyone to SmackDown. And we get into our opening segment. Randy Orton kicking things off with a promo here, kind of saying he finds things odd that Cody Rhodes is agreeing to team with Roman Reigns. And he says, you know what? Let's get some answers and bring Cody to the ring. Cody appears saying he was hesitant about teaming with Roman Reigns, but said that the new version of the Bloodline needed to be killed and hoped Randy didn't have a problem with that. Cody would also go on to say he gave me his word, just like he gave me his word that he would do everything to keep the title from him, leading into 39 and 40. He kept his word at 39, couldn't do it at 40. Orton says he didn't have a problem with that, but it won't be a problem unless you make it a problem, Cody. Kevin Owens, though, he comes out. We have yet to hear from Kevin Owens on what he thinks about all this.
We still don't know how he feels. We still don't know how he feels.
We're getting seeds, but not from his mouth. He has not said the words. It seems like we're going to, but before we can get anything from KO, they're interrupted by the Bloodline. Solo Sikoa is back, of course, alongside the Tongans and Jacob Fatu. Solo says he was happy all three of them were in the ring before things break up. Solo said Cody had better hope Roman Reigns could trust him because Randy and Kevin, they were not enough to stop the Bloodline. Said the only reason he was teaming with Roman was that Owens and Orton continued to let Cody down. Owens loses his shit per usual and says, you know what? Fine. We have a tag match tonight. We'll have a tag match right here. We want you. And Cody says, there's three of us in the ring. And before he can finish, Kevin cuts him off and says, no. You got your tag match at Bad Blood. Tonight it's me and Randy versus Solo and Jacob. So there was, what'd you think of the opening segment to SmackDown here?
Well, I mean, Randy Orton's got the Roman Reigns entrance on this one. I mean, I think I went to the kitchen, made a sandwich.
Yeah, he was.
Came back, he was still just posing.
Yep.
Orton must pose. Nonetheless, yeah, this was a good promo. Obviously, you brought it up, and, I have to agree. They have all the makings here for either a heck of a War Games match or a big turn or both.
Yeah, but my mind, I want a big, the current Bloodline and the OG Bloodline are mixed in with new Bloodline members or Roman's team versus Solo's team, right? But for some reason, I have this feeling in my gut that it's going to be Cody.
Roman's team is going to be Cody, Randy, and Kevin.
Right, versus those four. I hope not, because I'm really hoping for an inclusion of a Hikuleo, a returning Jimmy, Zilla Fatu. I'm a big fan of Zilla. Zilla is the son of Umaga, for those of you that may not know.
Two things there. Hikuleo has all been but confirmed to go to NXT. And right. Zilla Fatu, there are strong rumors right now that he's going to be signing with AEW.
Interesting. That'd be interesting. I don't know. Before we continue on with this, did you know that the CW has aired the WrestleMania documentary? Did you know that?
No.
So that but hear me out. Behind the curtain that they posted on YouTube, CW went ahead and they aired it on Saturday, and they included scenes that were not in the documentary.
Interesting.
Yeah. Apparently the scenes consisted of, because you got to fill that, it was a 2-hour window. There was scenes of like a lot more of the backstage walking around stuff, and I think more interviews with other talent. There was stuff that like we didn't see on the YouTube one. Stuff was like Punk and stuff like that. So interesting to hear that CW is kind of doing that. And apparently CW is going to be airing replays on Saturdays from NXT. Apparently it's a thing they do. They put on like some of their shows from the week on Saturdays in like an 8:00 slot, and they're going to do the NXT replay. So it seems like CW is all in with WWE, which is cool to see. There's also
Sportsnet. I mean, that's not overly. Sportsnet airs Raw at 5 o'clock my time, and then at 9 o'clock my time.
I used to like. Do you remember maybe what was Monday Night Raw? They had Monday Night Raw, and there was it was main event, but it wasn't main event then. Do you remember what it was called? Was it Heat?
Sunday Night Heat?
No, that was Sunday Night Heat was different. It was something else, man. I know Velocity was one of them. That was a SmackDown post show recording or something they did. I don't know if you remember Velocity. It was green. But at my mom's house on the weekends or every other weekend
Kind of
when I
like
would
Speed, which is green.
No, it was like its own matches. I maybe it was Heat, but there was something that was always on at my mom's house. I would be there every other weekend, and then during summer breaks, I was there for like weeks at a time, and I would be up all hours of the night playing video games, and then I would turn on the TV. I think it was like Comcast or something, and I would scroll through the channels, and it'd be like WWE, like it would be a replay, but it wouldn't be what was on Raw. It was something always else, or it would be Velocity. It was like fucking 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, okay. So I was consuming wrestling. I think it was basically like main event we have now. It was guys that you didn't see on TV. So I was always like tuning in at 2 o'clock in the morning, like, oh, I'm gonna see John Cena. John Cena wasn't making no damn appearance. So it was just interesting. But I don't know if because NXT has NXT Level Up is kind of where I was going with this. It's you can only see it on Peacock, but I wonder if maybe they'll throw that on CW on the weekend time slots or something. Who knows? Just an interesting thought on my end. Up next, WWE Women's Champion Nia Jax confronts Tiffany Stratton backstage, literally choking her regarding her not being there to stop Jax from being pinned. Stratton said she was hurt and she apologized. Jax responded that if it ended badly for her at Bad Blood, it will end badly for Stratton too. She walks away and Tiffany has a look on her face like, bitch, I'm cashing in.
I wouldn't be surprised if Stratton doesn't come away from Bad Blood with the title.
I was thinking that. I'm maybe she's gonna, I think when she does do the cash in, it's gonna be successful. Can't have two failed cash ins from your Money in the Bank winners. That's just a bad look in my eyes.
Not always.
Too many. Yeah, but too many failed.
It depends on who's doing it, how it works for storyline. Stratton's story has her winning guaranteed.
Yep. The WWE Women's Championship number one contenders match is next. Bayley is going to pick up the win with her flying elbow drop for the 1, 2, 3. Pretty good match these two put on. What did you think?
Yeah, it was a pretty good match. You were surprised by the finish.
I thought Bayley was going to do. I didn't realize in my head, okay, she hit the Bayley to belly and then went to the elbow drop.
She hit her finisher and then she hit her, favorite wrestler of all time's finisher.
But she was using that rose plant, which I'm happy if she's gone away from. I didn't like that rose plant finisher she had.
I like it.
But yeah, Bayley picking up the win
problem
here.
with the rose plant is if the opponent doesn't take it correctly, it looks horrible.
Gotcha. Maybe she's gone away from it because nobody could take it correctly. I don't know. But yeah, Bayley picking up the win. Right choice here. What'd you think?
Well, thank God they didn't make it some weird draw thing where we got another triple threat.
Yeah.
Fuck, they've done that a million times.
Does the winner matter?
No, I think this is Tiffany cashing in here. I think the winner doesn't matter. Bayley versus Jax 2, I guess you'd say, is only so appealing.
Right. Bayley shot back to get her title. I get it, but I agree with you. I think you have a Tiffy cash in at Bad Blood, and have her walking out of Atlanta as the new women's champion.
See, can I point something out? How it's not even important because you didn't bring it up, but you were all shocked that they put up the damage control thing for Bayley's entrance.
Yeah, they did do that. I wasn't.
You didn't bring it up, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, shows how much I remember it. But yeah, they did. It was weird, but called it out then. Kind of forgot about it. Anyway, Andrade.
It doesn't matter. Shit happens.
Shit does happen. But if it continues to happen, then it's a problem. Andrade backstage.
Well, unless they're alluding to something.
Maybe not. Andrade confronts LA Knight backstage.
Actually,
saying,
they definitely probably aren't because the way Bailey was like, "What the fuck was
yeah.
that?"
Andrade tells LA Knight that he lost respect for Knight because he didn't shake his hand after their match last week. But this led to Carmelo attacking LA Knight and then saying, I got some for you too, Andrade, and heads to the ring for their match. We got Carmelo Andrade part 6. Carmelo picks up the win here. By the way, these two in the ring, they don't put on a bad match, honestly. RK probably didn't like the finish because it was a roll up, but it came off of a distraction because LA Knight came out to attack Carmelo. This distracted Andrade. Hey, shoved Andrade onto LA Knight and got him in the schoolboy roll up for the 1, 2, 3. What did you think of the match and the finish?
Match was great. These two chemistry is off the charts. I don't like the finish, not because of the roll up. The roll up makes sense because of the interference, but I don't like the finish because it's almost setting up Carmelo to lose the best of 7, and you have another Andre LA Knight match.
I don't think so. I think they're going to do Carmelo LA Knight this time around, and then they're probably going to do a triple threat between all 3 of them.
I don't know. I'm thinking they're going to give Carmelo the loss in the 7th match, but that's just me.
I hope not. Cody Rhodes is backstage where Kevin Owens and Randy Orton are talking, and he asked Kevin to address any issues. Owens said there was a problem, but we'll handle it later because they have a match to focus on. He told Cody, just stay out of it. Don't come out there. Kevin leaves, and Orton says, listen, I'll talk to Kevin, but I understand. You know how the bloodline work. If we need your help, come to the ring and help. I'll talk to Kevin.
Remind me after the end of the show to bring up my theory here. Anyways.
Is it going to be the same theory of me? Should we bring it up now?
You have a theory too?
With this whole Cody, Kevin, and Randy thing?
Yeah. Okay, so they end of the Orton says he's going to tell Kevin Owens that Orton wants Cody's help if the bloodline shows up, but he doesn't tell Kevin Owens to set a little seed of dissension in the ranks, and it's just Orton masterminding his plan to get the title back.
I think Orton is the mastermind pulling the strings behind all of this. Classic Randy Orton. Heel, shave your head bald, Randy. Let's do it. Let's go for it. Because everyone wants to talk, and I'm totally stealing this from Sam Roberts, but it made so much sense. Not the instigator part. I agree with you. That was my thinking too. But Sam Roberts put it as everybody's so focused on, okay, the bloodline story, Roman, Cody, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's a thing. It's been a thing. But everybody seems to gloss over this Randy, Kevin, Cody situation. That Randy might be the one behind the scenes pulling the strings to set it all up. And, could we have a world where Randy Orton wins and beats Cody Rhodes? I don't know. Because
Randy wins another title before he's done.
Hear me out. Randy beats Cody. Who takes that title off of Randy?
Kevin.
John Cena.
I know where you're going with it. I just don't want to fucking say it because it's obvious.
John Cena.
Don't look like you got some great scheme of a plan over there.
I'm just saying, John Cena breaks the record, as he should, deservedly. Breaks the tie with Ric Flair that he's got. And then, Cena, I'm not saying Cena should hold it all year, but, you could have Randy beat Cody before the Rumble, and maybe John Cena wins the Royal Rumble. And Cena versus Randy at WrestleMania. I want it. I really do. Randy said he's always wanted a main event WrestleMania. Him and John have had so many matches, but they've never been the main event of WrestleMania. Now, could you get there? Could you sell that? I think so. Just on the fact that it's John Cena's final WrestleMania.
Oh, John Cena! I said it before. John records are meant to be broken, and you can't have Ric Flair holding the record forever.
Right.
You need somebody to break it, and right now the only guys close to breaking it are Randy or Cena. So Cena's coming back. Have him break the record. Make Cena your guy to hold the record for the next 20, 30 years or whatever.
Right, and Cena is going to be around almost all year next year, so he can be the champion.
Well, he has planned almost enough dates to show up once a week. Basically, he has like 40 dates planned, so that's almost
Right.
once a week.
So you could have Cena as the champion for a bit. Maybe drop it at a SummerSlam or something. I don't know. But the dream matches are what are crazy with Cena. And once again, once we get closer to 2025, we'll know more about what we think of Cena. We get a vignette. AJ Styles is set to return on the next week's episode of SmackDown, thankfully. We'll see what AJ's got cooked up. I need AJ Styles versus John Cena. If we're speaking of dream matches, I need that one more time, too. Michin has a match with Piper Nevin. She's going to pick up the win. Chelsea Green was ringside doing Chelsea Green work. That is fantastic. Basically, this is just a match against Piper because next week on SmackDown, it's Chelsea Green versus Michin in a dumpster match. What'd you think of this match? And how excited are you for a dumpster match?
It's been a long time since we've had one of those. I think the last one that I can remember of is Mick Foley. A long time ago. I'm excited for it. Chelsea Green is phenomenal. The thing that Chelsea takes the spotlight because Chelsea is just so good at everything she does. Michin is getting one hell of a push over the last 4 months, I want to say, dating back to early summer. And she's making as much as she can out of it. Michin's been top tier lately.
The last dumpster match in WWE was in 2017, and it was, you're never going to guess these competitors. It was Braun Strowman versus Kalisto.
Kalisto, the original Sin Cara.
Little Lucha Libre versus Big SOB. But yeah, I agree. Michin's been the workhorse, man. She's been on NXT. She's been everywhere. Chelsea Green as well. This match is going to be pretty good between those two. I'm excited to see what they cook up with that. It's just interesting with Chelsea's, character to be dealing with dumpsters.
Michael Cole's like, get that away. It stinks. You stink.
Yeah.
Say, trashy woman.
Backstage.
What do they say, Michael?
Yeah, what was I wish you should have finished it. There was a video package previewing a triple threat tag team ladder match, which is set for SmackDown on the Go Home show before Bad Blood in Nashville, Tennessee. It will be
this match is going to be ridiculous. This match is going to be ridiculous.
Oh yeah, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa defending their tag team titles against DIY.
I can't wait to see the way Tama Tonga botches shit. It's going to be great.
DIY and the Street Profits taking on the Blood.
DIY is going to do crazy. You know Montez Ford is going to pull some fucking wild shit off in this match.
Yep. Yeah, off a ladder of some sort. He's going to jump through something. Bailey backstage runs into Naomi. Naomi kind of ribs her a little bit, but they hug. Naomi congratulates her, says, when you win it back, I got the first shot. Bailey says, deal made. Tiffany confronts Naomi to make fun of her, but Naomi said, don't worry, you're free next week. We're going to have a match on SmackDown, so look forward to Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton on SmackDown. The main event, the Bloodline taking on Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Every time I see Jacob Fatu in a match, I'm very impressed. He's fantastic. The Bloodline do pick up the win. The finish was very...
They're pushing Jacob way too fast.
You think so?
Yeah. Rikishi said so it must be true.
Oh, it's got to be true.
Rikishi's the most polarizing figure I've ever seen on Twitter. Holy fuck. They're not pushing Jay hard enough. They're pushing Jimmy.
Pray for Jimmy.
Pray for Jimmy. Jacob may push too fast. He's already infused with Cody. Like, what do you want, Rikishi?
The Bloodline pick up the win. The finish comes when Cody Rhodes does come out to help out Kevin and Randy. Brawls with Jacob a bit on the side. And then Jacob throws Cody into the ring and he kind of rolls up on the referee's leg so the referee can't count the pin for Kevin.
Sorry, but that spot looked horrible.
Yeah, it was rough. I genuinely thought the referee made a poor something the way they kind of threw Cody on him. It was weird. So that doesn't happen. It leads to a pinfall victory for the Bloodline. What happens after is an argument between Cody and Kevin. The pushing, the why are you out here? I didn't want you out here. Randy trying to split them up. It ends in a hug, but it was in the I guess I'll hug you kind of thing.
Wasn't Orton supposed to tell Kevin that he told Cody that if the Bloodline gets involved to come out?
He never said he was going to. He said, "I'll talk to Kevin and calm him down." He never said he was going to, but I agree with you.
He said he was going to tell Kevin that he was going to clue him in.
I agree. We'll see what happens on SmackDown, but it could be coming here. Randy, we saw it for weeks if you've been watching SmackDown. Anytime Cody's got that title around, or Cody says he's going to defend the title, Randy's eyes don't leave the WWE Championship. That was SmackDown, and that is a wrap on all of our recaps of the week. But before we go, we need to pick our show of the week and our wrestler of the week. RK, start with show of the week. What show did you think stood out the most to you?
You weren't a fan of it, but I thought it was good start to finish. I was very entertained throughout the whole thing. So SmackDown.
I'm gonna go with the safe pick I always go with. I'm going with NXT. I was a big fan of NXT. The press conference things were a little weird, but everything else besides that was pretty damn good and compelling to me. The matches were good. The ending with Julia and Roxanne and Stephanie Vacour making an appearance was fantastic as well. Wrestler of the week for you, RK. Who do you got?
There's only one choice, but it's Jey Uso.
Yeah. So I agree. Jey Uso winning the IC title. Totally. That's my wrestler of the week as well. Honorable mention. I'm giving it a tie to second place. Zachary Wentz and Wesley just for that promo. Back and forth. I thought it was really good and built the heat for what we're going to get on the CW debut for NXT.
You just popped because Gigi was mentioned.
Yeah, I popped. I did because I was like, oh shit. All right, go ahead. Go off, Wes. It was really interesting. I'm excited for that match. I'm excited for the CW debut. That Chicago show is looking to be an all-timer, to be honest with you. I can't wait to tune in and see what they do.
Great NXT. Great NXT.
Stay tuned to the channel. We got, of course, weekly podcasts coming out. We're going to look to get out some Bad Blood predictions. Hopefully we'll get that done Thursday. We kind of know the card as it stands. So we should be able to pump that out for you guys. We are in the midst of finishing watching the Vince McMahon, Mr. McMahon documentary. We will put that out. It is basically a recollection of what we're watching. We're watching it as it happens, and we're kind of cutting our reactions to things that we felt necessary to pause and talk about. So stay tuned for that. And of course the podcast as well. Coming soon, off season coverage will be from the racetrack. We'll be having more attentions paid to other sorts of videos and stuff like that. I know a lot of wrestling content creators like to do reactions and stuff. And I think me and RK could have some fun with those as well. People love reaction videos on YouTube. So we'll rock out with those. And we appreciate everyone that watches and subscribes. And I truly thank you. We're just having fun talking about wrestling. And if you guys listen, you guys listen. If you don't, that's fine. But if you do listen, make sure you subscribe. We get enough more viewers than we do subscribers. It takes 2 seconds to subscribe and like the video. RK, any final words from you?
If you're in the front row of a wrestling show and you see 715 pounds come barreling down on you, get the fuck out of the way.
And that is a wrap on episode number 23 of This Week in Wrestling. Channel.